I wanted to talk today about Chanukah. And thank you for watching our show. A lot of people misunderstand the holiday of Chanukah. They speak Russian horror, they speak slander against this holiday. I always hear people say, Chanukah, oh, that's a minor holiday. They're very wrong. Not only that, but they speak bad against the Jewish people also. I'm talking about our fellow Jews talking like this. We see many Jews who have no connection to Judaism. Barely any connection. Not no connection, as we see, but very little connection to Judaism. And the major biblical holidays, they don't even know about. Shavuos, what they call in English Pentecost, when sages say this is the day we receive the Torah, 50 days after Passover. Sukkot, the day of our great joy. Also another biblical holiday, the Feast of Tabernacles. Many Jews aren't even aware of these holidays. Chanukah, everybody knows. Everyone's heard of Chanukah. So you hear people say, well, it's because it's in December, so there are other holidays. Our neighbors have holidays in December, they should be well. So we also want a holiday, so we make a big deal. We take this little minor holiday that's nothing, God forbid, this is what people say, and we make a big deal out of it just because we want to copy everyone else around us. God forbid, that's not true about Chanukah whatsoever. Chanukah has something inherent in it that attracts the soul of every Jewish person. That pintaliyid, that spark, that chiluk elokam mal mamish, that peace of God from above, that meaning, that point that's never separated from God, cannot do without Chanukah. Every Jew needs the light of Chanukah, and so every Jew is lit up and excited about Chanukah. Why is this? We see this is hinted to already in the Talmud. We know there's no book of the Talmud that talks about Chanukah as a whole book. We have Masechus Megillah talks about Purim. We have Sukkah, it talks about Sukkot. Seder Moed, we have all these every Yom Tov Kemach has a Masechta. Chanukah has no Masechta. It has no tractate in the Talmud. Only a few pages in the second chapter of Shabbos, Bava Madlikin, which many people say Friday night. The Mishnah, in the Gemara there we have the laws of Chanukah. And those who are familiar with this Mishnah, the halacha is supposed to say, these Mishnah is Friday night, it says in Shulchan Aruch. So even those who don't say in the synagogue, like the minhag of the Chassidim, most Chassidim don't say in the synagogue, really, it's ideal. When you get home, you should try to say it if you're able to. Anyway, we don't have to. There are many people who don't say it, so don't worry. There are many different customs, but it says in Shulchan Aruch, so it's good to say it. Anyway, it says there all the different oils, all the different wicks, what you can use for Shabbos candles, what you can't use for Shabbos candles. That's what the Mishnah is telling us about. And yet, the Talmud tells us that when it comes to Chanukah, you can use any wick, any candle, any oil, any type of wax, anything that burns and that will last, that you can have a little candle. I don't mean a big flame, I don't mean you can't light a bonfire and call that Chanukah lech. That's not Chanukah lech. It can't be a madura, it can't be a big flame, but a little candle, a little nair. Anything you can make from the nair is kosher for Chanukah. So why is that? So the halachic reason, the simple reason is because Shabbos candles are to give us light. We can't be around in the dark, so you have to light the candles before Shabbos. And so you can't have candles that smell bad, you can't have candles that don't burn well. Chanukah, though, is just a mitzvah. We're not supposed to use the light of Chanukah. We can look at it, and that's it, but they're holy lights. We can't, holiness of the Beis HaMikdash is coming through these lights. So we can't use these lights just for anything simple. And so anything is fine, anything that burns, anything's fine. There's a custom to try to use olive oil if possible. But if you don't, you can make a bracha on anything for Chanukah. So what is this? All of a sudden, so here we see the message of Chanukah. Is that every candle, everything, even if it doesn't get excited, Shabbos is a big deal. Shabbos We know it's a capital offense to break Shabbos. Shabbos is a very big deal. I don't want to hear stupid people who say, oh, it's only rabbinical stuff. They don't know what they're talking about. Shabbos is a big thing. You can't drive on Shabbos. You have to. It's a big deal. But God is forgiving. People are not perfect. And so not everyone gets excited for Shabbos. So what can we do? We don't get excited. But Chanukah, everyone gets excited. I mean, Jewish people have to keep Shabbos. I don't mean the rest of the world. Chanukah, everyone gets excited. It's only a rabbinical holiday, so what? You know, our sages tell us, Chavivim Divrei Sofer Miyosim Divrei Raisa, that the words of our sages are more precious than the words of the Torah, because the Torah are the love letters that God gave to us. But the rabbinical laws are the love letters that we, the Jewish people, sent back to God. Not only that, but the Torah itself says, Lo Sasim Nadav Ashirucha, says in Deuteronomy, don't go away from the teaching that they teach you. It means that we have to keep rabbinical laws too. They have a biblical source, and therefore that's why we say the blessing, blessed art thou, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who has commanded us, who has sanctified us with his commandments, who made us holy with his commandments, and commanded us to light Chanukah, the Ner Chanukah, Hadlik Ner Chanukah. Where does it say in the Torah? Light Chanukah. Where it says, Lo Saser, don't go away from what the Torah says, so we have to do it. The point is that everyone gets excited in Chanukah because there's something internal in Chanukah. There's something essential in Chanukah. Chanukah is not just a minor holiday, it's a major holiday. But, what do you mean a major holiday? Even Purim, we put on a shtreimel, you get the Shabbos clothes on Chanukah. Alright, so Shabbos always falls on Chanukah. But, every day of Chanukah, most people do not put on a shtreimel to light Chanukah. Some rabbis do. But even many of the rabbis don't put on a shtreimel for Chanukah. Most people wear the weekday clothes for Chanukah. Why? Also for this. Because the light of Chanukah goes down even to the weekdays. It shines a light into everything, into the darkest places, in the darkest part of the night, of the golus, of the exile, no matter where, no matter what. The light of Chanukah excites every Jewish soul. Because every type of oil, every type of wick is kosher for Chanukah. It says that the Shekhinah generally hovers, so to speak, the presence of God, so to speak, generally hovers above 10 tefachim, around 40 inches, a tefach about 4 inches, a hand's breadth. On Chanukah it goes l'mata me'asar tefachim, that the light of the Shekhinah goes below even 10 hand breadths. It goes and illuminates everything, everyone, every soul gets excited and on fire in Chanukah because there's something essential in Chanukah. The miracle of Chanukah is such a tremendous miracle. You think, oh, what is it, a big deal? No. There's a salvation of the Torah. The people who tried, it was mostly Jewish people, tried to go against what the Torah is saying and trying to water down the Torah, mix it with other things. But that's why we light with oil on Chanukah, because oil rises to the top, doesn't mix. That's the message of Chanukah. It's not a message of everyone should be the same, everyone should get along. It's a message of we have to keep the Torah holy, both the written Torah and the oral Torah. And so Chanukah is a holiday of oral Torah. A little bit after Chanukah, we fast. A few days later, the fast of Asar B'Tevis, the 10th of Tevis. And one of the things that happened on that day, actually a little before that, was the translation of this attachment. Because, now what's this? Why are we fasting for this, the translation of the Torah into Greek? We should be happy. Not only that, we have tremendous respect for the translation into Aramaic, for the translation of Unclus. The message is because Unclus kept the Torah as a living document. The Greek translation, even though there were holy rabbis who made it, they did it because they were forced to, not because they wanted to. And they just made it, they took 70 rabbis because they wanted just a cold, lifeless translation. The Bible, without God's explanations, the oral Torah, It's like a body without a soul. And so what the Greeks did is they took the soul out of the Torah and made the Bible into just a book to put on the shelf. We know the Torah is a living, document, a living, breathing being that lives with us. It's a Torah's Chaim, it's a Torah of life, a living Torah. And so we don't just translate, because you can't capture it. It's something you have to live. It's something you have to tune yourself to.